I need a reality check. Ain't quite what I expect. Train wreck. I need a reality check. I need a reality check. Ain't quite what I expect.
So, obviously, anyone who's opened up X today and yesterday, like the last 3 effing months, has been seeing Candace just royally crashing out. Like every other day. It's Israel, it's French Legion, it's Trump, it's just something other than, oh my god, evidence could actually be evidence. Holy shit. Like, it's crazy to think that what is actually there is what is actually there. Not to mention when you have people admitting it, you have DNA, I mean, whatever. Anyways, so we're just getting into talking about her crash outs for the last 3 months. And kind of what it's turned into because Turning Point decided to answer. So obviously, Candace needs to be committed. But yeah, so I'll get into it again. Turning Point contacted her, said that they wanted to address all the issues and all that stuff, and she said name, time, and place. And then she turned around and went, well, I can't because I need someone to watch my kids. I can't because I need someone to do this for my husband because we have family coming in from out of town. Or I can only come in on a live stream. Or I just, every single excuse under the sun. So, I mean, it even shows it here. Where it's like, I received information last night, final piece put together, where she actually accused Turning Point. And we all have realized that she's been accusing Turning Point for like the last 3 months. But this is her flat out saying that they had something to do with Charlie's death. And then you have Turning Point. If I can get to it. I might get the wrong one. Again, bear with me. Either way, Turning Point basically called her out and said that they want to go and deal with all this. And she agreed, she accepted. And then you end up with crap like this, where it's kind of weird how you didn't email or call me to ask me about times of availability and choose to instead tweet this information out at midnight. Why am I learning about this on X? Kind of just seems like a bitchy woman, and that's coming from a woman. But I really hate how I line this up, I swear. Again, apologies. I had things in order, and then you go and click, click, click. There we go. The live stream we announced on the show Wednesday has been set at 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. local time. On Monday, December 15th, the collective of Charlie's friends will respond to the statements made by Candace Owens to set the record straight once and for all prior to the opening of America Fest, which is their Super Bowl. We'll be live streaming from Charlie's Phoenix studio. Our offer from yesterday holds. If Candace wishes to join us in person in Phoenix, she is welcome to do so. She can let us know by end of today. And that's where she decided to respond with, obviously, come on. Why are you not playing? Oh, there we go.
No shame. We're going to find out. You can pick the place. You can pick the time. You can pick the place. You can pick the time. You can pick the place. You can pick the time. You can pick the place. You can pick the time. You can pick the place. You can pick the time. You.
So they pick the place, pick the time.
You can pick the place, you can pick the time. I say we do it tomorrow. We don't need to plan for this. We don't need lawyers in between us, lawyer statements. It's not how I roll, okay? I don't care about any of that. I want it to be authentic. Like I said, you can take the money. We can raise money live for this conversation. That is how badly the world is demanding it. So I accept it with whistles and bells, everything. I fully accept. I say, let's do it tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow. And my only ground rule is no assassinations. Okay? No assassinations, no funny business. You can't pretend you're going to do it and then Candace died in a mysterious accident. Okay? We'll be right back after a quick break.
Yeah, and then after that, kind of weird how you didn't email or call me. And December 15th doesn't work in person. And 2 p.m. is when I normally stream. Like, you can pick the place, you can pick the time. Apparently she can't stand up to that. And then she sits there and adds in other things about her children and how she can't go to Phoenix, even though she's worth $1 billion and can sit there and fly there one day and fly there the same day. Like, she can fly there and back same day. But she's worried about her 4 kids and homeschooling, even though they're 4, 3, 2, and 7 months. I actually think they're in vitro babies, because honestly, there's rumors that her husband is gay. But we'll get into that. Trust me. And then she goes, we'll also add that I'm happy to jump on Charlie's show any day before then, virtually as well. So, and the whole reason she wants to be virtually is so that way she can basically have someone in her ear telling her what to say, looking things up. She has no evidence. Nothing. 3 months. I have names. Nothing. I mean, to the point where it's just freaking sick. Oh, yeah, and by the way, she also made an excuse that she can't leave because her husband runs the household. Here's how much he runs the household. Yeah. By the way, that's him right here. I don't know if you see his face. That doesn't really look like a man who runs the house. That looks like someone who watches her get picked. Just saying. I'm serious. That is the face of not a man. Probably a lizard. Probably right. But yeah, so, and then you have fans going on Turning Point talking about you wanted to have a conversation with Candace, and why can't she come on? You can't work things out with her, all that kind of crap. So, insisting Candace Owens appear in person to their debunking challenge. And yeah, by the way, she's played this whole game off of, I can't show up in person because there's some sort of threat against my life from some sort of French Foreign Legion, tied in with Israel. I don't understand. As far as I know, France and Israel don't really like each other right now. But I don't know. But yeah, so we're going to listen to this for a second. Because, again, I really just, I'm tired of her talking so much crap for 3 months. And then when they're like, okay, we're going to confront you, she runs away.
And she's saying she can't attend in person. Can she attend on a live stream, or and you guys do live streams all the time, and is that going to be an option?
Of course, Gina.
I'm just trying to make this come together.
Of course, Gina. So first of all, our initial statement, it was on the show on Wednesday. I made it at the request of Erica. All of this has been at the direction and approval of Erica because she heads this. And so what we were announcing there is we said she has said things that are not true, and we did not address them for a long time. We stated the reasons why, that we thought a lot of them were just not, how to put it, we initially just thought no one would believe a lot of what was being said. And we also just, we remembered the same friendship that Charlie had, and we just hoped that this would go away without requiring.
On the believe a lot of what she said, that's very true. A lot of people don't understand how people are believing. But I mean, in all honesty, I kind of know how, because with what happened, and by the way, since no one here knows me, 9 years ago, my parents were a murder-suicide. And to this day, 9 years later, we will never fully know what happened. The only people who will would be my father and my mother, and the conversation that they have right beforehand. But I had plenty of people sit there and make speculations. Maybe it was this, maybe it was this, maybe it was that. And when you have a large amount of people not knowing the full story and having to sit there and try and piece it together so they understand, they're going to try and grasp on to whoever wants to sit there and play a story. And that's what's going to happen. I mean, I heard some fun ones. I heard this one person said that he was the reason why my dad did what he did, because he called the cops on him for growing weed when he had a medical card, and Multnomah County came and checked the property 3 times a year. So he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. I mean, that was just blatantly, that's just what happens, though. Like, that's how people are. Something happens, they want to piece it together, and they just kind of have to grasp at straws and hope they find something. I mean, that's what's happening right now. And so you have someone with a large platform who wants to just spout stuff off, and she's really convincing, because she's like, I know and I feel it. I have receipts, but never shows them. Yeah, I mean, when you're talking to a bunch of dumb women, they believe that kind of stuff. Men, not so much. I just seem to find a lot more women backing her up. It's all the emotional crap. It's like, oh my God, I hurt for you too. It's like, oh my God, no. Use your brain. It's the lump 3 feet above your ass. Anyway, let's go back to this.
Any sort of direct statement or confrontation from us. So what was approved is we announced we are going to respond to this. And what I said was, we are going to announce a date soon. We actually hadn't agreed on it at the time I read the statement. We're going to announce a date where we're going to respond to this. And once we announce it, Candace is free to attend in person. That is what we announced. And so once we agreed on a time, I announced what the time was going to be. Candace, for her part, had said, you name the time, you name the place. That is what we did. As for why it was put out at that time, I would just say I don't think she had any difficulty in finding out what our scheduled time was. It seems everyone found it out quite quickly. And lastly, on the point of why it's in person, I think it's pretty intuitive that given what is being said, the way this has worked is that it's critical to be in person if you want to be authentic and to be detailed.
Now, I actually said when I saw that I think the reason they want it in person was they're gonna set up this whole live stream. Candace's gonna be sitting there, and Erica's gonna walk out. Basically, the wife is gonna walk out and go, "So, you think I killed my husband?" And you're gonna see a black woman go white real quick. She's just gonna go pale. She's gonna become like albino at that point. It's gonna be funny. But I guarantee that was what was gonna happen. And then when she backed out and was like, "Oh, I'll live stream," and then she's now saying that she's going to live fact check their stream, so they can't even actually confront her because she's a chicken. Now they're actually admitting that this request was made on behalf of Erica, and that Erica was gonna be there. So yeah, we all know why. And honestly, the running theory that I have is Candace was in love with Charlie. Charlie friend-zoned the ever-living F out of her, and she's pissed. And when he died, she realized I never have a chance with him ever. And so now she's going after everything he loved, because Hell have no fury like a woman scorned. Because I don't know how many of you guys out there have ever had a crazy chick that you had to like friend zone, so that way she didn't go after you. It exists, seen it, but yeah, that's exactly what she's doing. Especially for the last 3 months when she has receipts, she's like, look at these text messages where I'm flirting with him. Look at this video where I'm like with him. Really? Like, I'm a married woman. If I saw a woman talking to my husband like that, I'd have problems. Like, there's a big difference between, hey, what's up, and big difference.
And that is what we think is a fair request to make if she's going to participate. But regardless, it is going to go forward because we have agreed that some response needs to be made. And so that's going to happen when we announced it on December 15th.
So, yeah. So, again, she basically got a formal challenge, said, okay, and then backed out. So, then you have, like, see, today on the show, TPUSA says it was Erica who directed them to host a live stream. Did she approve the letter Blake read? It's like, of course she did. She's the CEO. She probably wrote it. And that's why he was reading it. And then, oh yeah, I love this, by the way. So, she also follows that up with, too many men wore maroon on the day of Charlie's assassination. I'm asking the public to help identify them. Well, I figured, Utah, you're at a college. There's probably some colleges nearby. Let's take a look. Look at that. University of Utah, UVU. 47 minutes, 41.9 miles. Let's see what school colors they have. Oh, my bad. Oh, my bad. Sorry. Oh, shit. Oh, is that maroon? Oh, I think I solved it. In 3 minutes. And your team couldn't figure it out? Okay. And then, so, this is where I was talking about, like, she's now trying to blame Erica, and I guarantee the reason why she's doing it is because she's just a crazy person. She's blaming the wife because she's a scorned woman. She was in love with the guy, and he didn't love her back. That was it. But bitches be crazy. So, I mean, someone obviously posted it was always going to end up here with Candace going after Erica Kirk, which she had been for 3 months. For months, she's spoken in code terms about Erica without mentioning her name, and then clutched her pearls when people accused her of attacking Erica or wrapping her up in her conspiracy theories. To be clear, Erica is a public figure and the CEO of Turning Point. She is not immune to criticism or even tough attacks. But Candace spreading dangerous conspiracy theories, which in turn lead to her devoted fans to become radicalized and take her conspiracies to the next level, is not criticizing Erica or holding her accountable. It's something much more dangerous.
It's Friday, and he asks the question, my toxic trait is that I want to know why rappers like The Game are asking more meaningful questions about the death of Charlie Kirk than his close friends over at Turning Point USA, because The Game just dropped his song, It's Friday, and he asks the question explicitly, who killed Charlie Kirk? And on that same note, Blake Neff of Turning Point USA has now come out and said that it was Erica that directed them to have this live stream. And so now I want to know, like, did she sign off on that letter where, like, we are getting now referred to as Antifa because we won't stop asking questions about what happened on 9/10? Did she direct that, like, very insincere, he uses the word direct, insincere offer for me to come join them in a live stream? I need answers to all these questions. Plus, boys wearing maroon, too many of them on the day of 9/10. We're going to get into all that. Join us by hitting the link below.
Again, the maroon thing. it apparently never occurs to anyone that another school could have been visiting, because that's happened plenty of times. I've watched, sorry, I've watched like, I don't know, probably 30 or 40 different times where he's gone to college campuses and debated people. That's all you would see is he'd be at one college campus in Pennsylvania. There were people who drove 3 hours from another college. Sometimes in like a bus they rented. So you had 40 people show up in their school colors. So, yeah, I don't understand why this is hard for her to understand. She went to some of these events. She saw it firsthand. But, I mean, when you try and make shit up. Okay, so this is where I wanted to get into, where it's obvious she was obsessed with him. And I mean obvious. And so we got a couple of these to go into, and then we will also go pivot kind of back to the lies she's told as we get over in here. So I apologize. I lined things up the best way I could. It's my first time. Anyways, so I honestly don't know when this video is from, but it has to be, I mean, probably at least 6 years old. I care so much about him. I'm going to talk non-stop cash money, you know what, for 3 months and destroy what his wife, his family, his friends, and everything he built. Yeah, that pans out. Oh, my best friend. Not to mention, like, I looked all over, high and low. I found a picture of him at her wedding. Can't seem to find a picture of her at his. So, then again, I mean, they were somewhat private, so I'll leave it to that. But just gonna point that out. But hey, let's go to some more. Let's.
I don't get the rules of this planet. I don't get the betrayal, the back
Like,
politics. I always felt like an alien. We would have these discussions with donors, and we'd have discussions with people, or people would do stuff, and I would just tell them all the time, Charlie, I'm an alien. I am new on this planet. I don't understand this. I don't understand double speak and, you know, contracts and people threatening to sue. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm an alien. And Charlie always said he felt like he was a time traveler. And this is a conversation I would say, I'm an alien. I just messaged him from across the globe. And he said, I think I'm a time traveler. This is my home. He felt like Earth was his planet, but I think you found me and time traveled with me. Like the kind of friendship where you can talk about being a time traveler and feeling like an alien, as I've always felt like it, because I don't get it. I don't get the rules of this planet. I don't get the betrayal, the backstabbing, the people that dance for money. It's never made sense to me. From the time I was a kid, I just felt out of place. I always felt like an alien. We would have these discussions with donors.
all right. So there's that one. I mean, very poetic kind of stuff. I mean, even Tim Pool kind of said it best, where it's like, that sounds like oh, I'm an alien. Oh, I'm a time traveler. Oh. Like you're trying to flirt. You suck at it, but you're trying to flirt.
That young experience. I'm going to miss Charlie going on dates and the girls that he liked and me always being the wing woman and him asking. This text message is one of my favorite.
A little tip. Unless a woman is married or not into men or your sibling, she's not a wing woman. She's waiting in the side. She is waiting for her turn. Seriously. Like, she didn't friend zone him. He friend zoned you, dude.
That young experience. I'm going to miss Charlie going on dates and the girls that he liked and me always being the wing woman and him asking. This text message is one of my favorite text messages between me and Charlie when he was getting ready to go on a date. And, you know, he didn't date many people. And he was just kind of in love with this girl. And he was asking me, should I wear this? And this is the text message. It's so sweet. He said, do I have to change this shirt? And I wrote back, yes, and throw it away if you can. Charlie. And he writes, okay. It's that young experience. I'm going to miss.
Hey, I'm sorry. That is not a wing chick. That is a chick who is, like, in love with you. Like, that's a chick who's in love. Yeah, see, and I'm not the only person. It's like, they definitely, you know what. So now she's just messing with Erica. So the texts she loved the most are when he went on dates with girls he loved that weren't his wife, and she talked to him like they were messing around. And she did.
That young experience.
This one.
First question, this is actually really funny.
Okay.
Who is the better driver?
Okay, hold on a second.
No. I'm gonna answer this question. Actually, Charlie Kirk never lets me drive, so
This is
maybe he's
correct.
sexist. He never
This
lets
is
me
very
drive,
correct.
and he's a horrible driver on top of it.
Hold on, I'm very, very good.
Horrible.
Zero car
He
accidents.
never lets me drive.
I'm very benevolent, okay? This is my argument. I care so much for Candace Owens. I want her to be able to tweet uninterrupted of traffic patterns.
Ooh, nice spin. That's a very nice spin.
This is the spin stops here, okay? And I will say, without a shadow of a doubt, every time, it's not even a question. I just go right into the driver's seat.
He doesn't even ask me.
It's
I'm
not
like, Charlie, I could drive. He's like, no. You're a woman.
No,
Yeah, I've been in AP's chat, sorry. But yeah, I'm just kind of trying to point out that Candace Owens was obsessed with Charlie, and not in a good way. Like, she pretty much wanted to climb underneath that table and blow him at that moment. Like, I'm a chick, I can read the body language. I realize most guys are like, huh? But no, it's pretty obvious when you're just about falling across the table giggling. Yeah.
no, because well, it's no.
He's never letting me
I
drive.
want to be very clear about this.
Bob.
He said,
I want to be very clear. I don't know if she's a good driver or a bad driver. I would never make that prejudice whatsoever. Instead, it is a man's role to protect the woman, right? And you protect them by being able to drive so that she can tweet uninterrupted. And I will attribute her Twitter growth over mine to the fact that when we're driving through the San Bernardino Valley, I have to try to avoid burning cars, and she can continue to tweet uninterrupted. So
I have to avoid burning cars. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's pretty obvious I don't know if they messed around, but she wanted to. It's very scary. Like, the fact that you have a chick literally, like, chasing a guy like that is scary. And I actually kind of know about that because when I first got with my husband, his ex was like that. Like, she called his work, called his family, called his ex, made up things. 2 months into us being together, she called and claimed she was pregnant. I mean, all sorts of crap. Oh, she even made up that her kids were my husband's kids. Which, no, my husband had one kid. I have one stepson. That's it. So, I've experienced this. Like, I can tell you, there's crazy bitches out there, and she crazy. But, Here's the reason why, because if you see how he looks at her, yeah, he doesn't look at her like
I'm
this.
not gonna be able to focus sitting this close to him.
Hi. You ready? What?
Hello. I'm not gonna be able to focus looking right at you. I'm just gonna be staring at you.
Hello.
Oh. Wow.
Ready, Terrell?
Hold on.
We're
I never
rolling.
looked at her
We're
like
not.
that.
All right, you'll be switching. All right, I'll
It's
count it
wrong.
down.
Wait. I'm kind of nervous, you guys.
She's nervous, which is why we must get going. All right, we ready?
No.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of The Charlie Kirk Show.
You're gonna have to do it again.
Introduce yourself.
Is that what you're gonna
Like,
say?
my first one, you have to do it again.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of The Charlie Kirk Show.
You're so handsome.
I'm engaged. Would you like to introduce yourself, or should I introduce you?
This is mortifying.
How would you like me to start? All right, we'll try it again. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of The Charlie Kirk Show. Joining me is the most special guest, my fiance, Erica. Welcome to The Charlie Kirk Show.
Yeah. So, now you can see why she's pissed. Because Charlie never looked at her like that. And again, he'll have no fury like a woman scorned. Not to mention, kind of wanting to get to the fact that, oh yeah, Erica's beautiful. Erica's gorgeous. She was actually Miss Arizona. Which is probably another reason why Candace is pissed. But so, I find it also really interesting that, so he meets Erica in like September of 2018 and states to just about everyone that, like, I've met the woman that I want to date with intention of marriage. And then come when Candace meets her husband, which is December 11th of 2018, 18 days later, they get engaged. I mean, that just seems like someone who's kind of having a petty moment. Like, I'm going to get engaged to this dude just to make someone else jealous. I don't know. That's just me. But, yeah, she lives very much a life of privilege, so this idea that, like, she's going through hard times, even when Macron threatened to sue her. And I'm going to have to get a GoFundMe going in order to pay for it. He's a billionaire. He's born into a lord family. I believe they have like 3 different mansions. His mansion in England is worth, I think, like $7 million. But yeah, you're gonna have a real hard time affording that lawsuit with Macron, huh? But yeah, look, proposed on FaceTime 18 days after meeting once. Who does that? I don't know. I mean, I am one to talk. My husband showed up and never left, but that was a little different. We didn't propose on FaceTime after meeting once. Like we had been together for a few months before we got engaged, and we were engaged for 3 years almost. 2 years at least. It just kind of got to the point where he's like, when are we going to get married? So we went to the courthouse. Because I'm cheap. But I also did want to point out that another reason why she's probably sitting there and blaming Israel for everything is, oh, hey, look. Her husband is a Qatar citizen. Oh, that's interesting. The same people who are, I don't know, funneling money into our colleges and all sorts of crap like that. I mean, they were funneling money into NYU this last summer in order to basically pay for Palestine protests. So I really don't know why we keep running into Qatar. But whatever. I mean, and then again, Qatar also didn't like Charlie Kirk, so I guess he was pro-Israel. But I'm also going to get into a couple other things. So I'm going to cover this one first. Like, here's another lie she stated. That Charlie was becoming Catholic.
Be antagonistic. It was just an honest, like, oh, we were talking about Catholicism, and they all started making videos saying it's absolutely not true. Charlie never flirted with it. They knew, Turning Point knew that Charlie was going to mass sometimes daily. They knew he was praying the rosary. They knew that Erica took a priest to pray over his body when he died. So you have to ask the question, why lie? And I think that just any lie at all makes me feel uncomfortable, because lies are not necessary unless you're covering something up, no matter what.
Okay, so she said that, and that was, does it say when? December 5th, so this was like yesterday. Here's Charlie 3 months ago. Actually, a little more than 3 months ago. But, this is when he was at, University of Tennessee. Oh, wait, was that it? No, sorry. I remember. So this is when I'd honestly have to go back and check my thing, because I actually recorded this on my phone. But this is when he was doing a debate. This was, I think, California, or I'm not sure. Either way, it was about 3 or 4 months ago. It was pretty much a month or two before he passed away. Here's what he thinks about Catholicism.
Hey, Charlie. Before I get into my question, I just wanted to say I really appreciate your rhetoric on Jesus today. I'm a practicing Catholic, and that's a really important thing to me, so I think it's awesome that you're talking about that and incorporating that into your movement. And even though I'm a practicing Catholic, I'm not going to ask a question about Israel. You don't have to worry.
It's almost always Catholics, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. But anyways, let me pull it up real quick. So Charlie, earlier this year, while doing your show with Michael Knowles, you labeled Pope Francis as a Marxist. Many Catholics, including myself, not only found your claim to be very disrespectful, but also baseless. As you know, Marxism is a revolutionary ideology. It promotes class warfare, economic collectivism, and atheism. And in contrast, Francis advocates for social unity. He's in favor of a market economy, albeit a regulated one, but his views are like JP2's. And he also advocates for the integration of Catholic social teaching into society. And while he is left-leaning on immigration and climate change, he also opposes abortion, gender ideology, and gay marriage, putting him directly at odds with Marxist political theory. And then additionally, in 2022, he explicitly stated that Catholicism and Marxism are incompatible. Given this, will you recant your claim that Pope Francis is a Marxist? And if you will not, please explain why you still believe that Pope Francis
No, I don't want
is
to
a
spend too much
Marxist.
time on this. Again, it's
Okay.
not me. I mean, Taylor Marshall and many other top Catholics have talked about
Well,
his. You don't.
Well, Taylor Marshall, he's a set of a contest. I don't
even know what that means.
He doesn't
Here's the
believe-
point.
yeah.
I'm not going to go debate the Catholic thing very well. All I know is this: I know that he comes from liberation theology. You agree?
I would say he has been influenced by it, but he's not a liberation theologian. He's only been...
Yeah, so this is where I don't want to spend the whole... I don't think this is a top concern for the audience. I'm not going to recant because I don't have to. I'm not a Catholic.
Yeah, I know.
So, and I don't really
wait,
care if
wait.
you were offended, right?
What was
Because
that?
I'm concerned for the audience. I'm not going to recant because I don't have to. I'm not a Catholic.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
and
oh shit! Did he just say he's not a Catholic? Was that a lie she did? Oh, wait, one more time.
This is where I don't want to spend the whole... I don't think this is a top concern for the audience. I'm not going to recant because I don't have to. I'm not a Catholic.
Yeah, I know.
So, and I don't really care if you were offended, right? Because I'm not a Catholic. So,
Yeah,
and I
but-
love Catholics, and I actually defend Catholicism every day, and I, meet with fellow, priests in my area, and I love them. They're actually agreed with me when they, I said the Marxist thing. You will know more about it than I will. I'm just going to point you to other Catholic thinkers that have made that accusation. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so she claims that he was Catholic, he was praying on the rosary, he was basically converting Catholicism, and that Erica had a Catholic priest come and pray over his body. He literally said here, twice, that he's not Catholic. In fact, he doesn't even have to apologize to the Pope because he's not Catholic. So, who's lying? Is he lying about himself, or is she lying about him? I'm more inclined to believe him. But yeah, I figured I would say something like that. I mean, the fact that she's like, look, he's Catholic. No, you're not. Actually, okay, so I want to go to this. And this is another thing. Excuse me.
Campus. Let's listen to this next part, because this is where some of the things that she constantly does as far as deception goes continues to play out.
No, it's the lone shooter who had never been on campus, who climbed the roofs like Spider-Man.
This is something that she said in multiple episodes. Yeah, you know, Tyler Robinson climbed the roofs like Spider-Man. Oh, it's so crazy.
Because again, when people don't know the full story, they sit there and try and grasp at straws, not knowing. And it's very easy to figure out that if you go there, it's really easy to get up to the roof. In fact, he's going to show you.
She uses such gross exaggeration to make a point and to make you, the listener, believe that the idea that Tyler Robinson was on the roof is nuts. Well, here's footage from when I went to UVU. Let me show you exactly how much of a Spider-Man you have to be to get on this roof. It's insane. All right, folks, so here's the stairs that go to the roof.
God damn, I got bad knees. I can do that.
Wow.
Well, that easy.
This wall is about maybe 3 feet tall. All right, so right there is the shooting position. It's about 200 feet away from there. You don't need to be Spider-Man. As a matter of fact, you don't even need arms. You can literally get up there if you didn't have arms. So for
You don't even need arms. Like, I'm a big woman. I'll be honest. And guess what? I could even get up to the position. So, apparently you don't gotta be Spider-Man. So again, all these lies, all this BS, and I'm gonna watch a couple things from him because I like how he broke stuff down. Not to mention this is someone who has a tactical channel. So if anyone can tell you stuff, it would be him. So let's go over to
incident that he had. And during the discussion with the officer that showed up, Tyler certainly refers to it as his car, not his vehicle, because that's how most Americans.
Now, by the way, to give you a quick little backup on this, she claimed that Tyler Robinson wasn't the shooter because in speaking with the officers, he used the word vehicle, but in this traffic stop, he used the word car. A lot of people use vehicle and car back and forth. I do. And I'm a normal person.
How most English speakers refer to a car unless they're in the military or on the police force. So here is 2022 police body cam footage, in case you missed that, of Tyler making a crash report. Take a listen.
Your mom's on her way?
Yeah, she's gonna be a minute. She's gotta shuttle over from where she's at to her car and then drive over.
Gotcha.
His mother was going to shuttle over from her car? Interesting. There's more, of course.
There is more, but she didn't show it to you. That video clip is a little over 3 minutes, and she pulled out one little piece where he says car, and that is proof. And by the way, who the heck says shuttle over to her car?
It's gonna be a minute. She's gotta shuttle over from where she's at to her car.
This kid obviously kind of speaks in ways that I don't think most of us are just familiar with. But just a few seconds later in that exact same video clip, here's what happens.
There was a vehicle in the lane between lanes. There was a vehicle in the lane between lanes. There was a vehicle in the lane.
So there we go. In the exact same video that she uses to prove that he doesn't use the word vehicle, he does use the word vehicle. So that is a clear, that's a lie, or it's incompetence. Why would she not watch the entire video to make sure that she has her, T's crossed and her I's dotted? She made the entire case that, hey, you shouldn't believe that these text messages are legitimate because, hey, he doesn't use the word vehicle, when in fact...
When obviously he does.
His parents don't believe that their son committed this crime. I was like, huh?
Yeah, and here's where she claims that parents don't believe the son committed the crime, but yet the son, or I think the mom, like saw the son, called the son, got the son to come over. The son actually admitted to the dad, and that's when they called like a family priest, something like that. But here she's saying that, and then in an episode weeks prior, she even stated what I said word for word. So, I'm a car. No, you're a vehicle.
Excuse me? That's a far cry from what the media has been telling us. Remember, the media presented this amazing story. The father realized his son was guilty, so it goes, right? And then he phoned over a friend. That quote unquote family friend informed the family. It was that in-between person that informed the family that Tyler had been identified as the shooter. It's a far cry from what the media has been telling us. Remember, the media presented this amazing story.
All right, so who was this media that created this amazing story? So basically what she's saying here is it wasn't the parents that identified him. It was the family friend that said, hey, look, we've identified him. We think it's Tyler. He needs to turn himself in. But let's jump here to episode 237, September 17th. Just, I don't know. We're talking 12 days prior to this. And this is what Candace actually said to begin with.
I have a source, and everything the source has told me that has happened and when we were lied to publicly has proven to be correct. So I am very inclined to believe this source on a couple of other things. And when I speak also to Lance's family, they are confirming what this source is telling me. So we're going to go through this.
All right, so she has a source that she has found extremely reliable. And on top of that, everything this source has said has been confirmed by other people. Let's see what the source actually has to say.
So they released the photo. And then we are told, as my source initially told me, that it was the mother who recognized Tyler and she phones him up. Tyler says, Mom, I'm sick. She doesn't believe it. She loops in dad, okay?
Okay, she does more than loop in dad. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But look at what she's saying. Just 12 days prior, she said she has a source that confirmed that the mother saw the surveillance footage, recognized her own son. It was the parents that recognized her own son. And she didn't just loop in dad. She showed the father, Matt Robinson, the surveillance footage of the suspect that the FBI released. And let's read the charging documents. This is the official charging documents. I have them right here. This is an excerpt. I believe this is from page 6. Robinson's mother stated the following to police on September 11th, 2025, the day after the shooting. Robinson's mother saw the photo of the shooter in the news and thought the shooter looked like her son. Robinson's mother called her son and asked him where he was. He said he was homesick and that he had also been homesick on September 10th. Robinson's mother expressed concern to her husband that the suspected shooter looked like Robinson. Robinson's father agreed, which this is literally confirmed by Candace and her extremely reliable source.
As my source initially told me, that it was the mother who recognized Tyler and she phones him up.
Now here we are at the charging document.
No, let me get this straight. So you claim that you don't know how the parents recognized the kid, but 12 days earlier, your source said that the parents recognized the kid. And then 12 days later, the source changed the story. Is that what I'm getting? Like, are we all in crazy world? Is this what's happening? Lord.
Documents again, this is page 7. Robinson's father reported that when his wife showed him the surveillance image of the suspected shooter in the news, he agreed that it looked like their son. He also believed that the rifle that the police suspected the shooter used matched a rifle that was given to his son as a gift. As a result, Robinson's father contacted his son and asked him to send a photo of the rifle. Robinson did not respond. However, Robinson's father spoke on the phone with Robinson. Robinson implied that he planned to take his own life. Robinson's parents were able to convince him to meet at their home. As they discussed the situation, Robinson implied that he was the shooter and stated that he couldn't go to jail and just wanted to end it. When asked why he did it, Robinson explained there is too much evil and the guy, Charlie Kirk, spreads too much hate. So that's the story that Candace and her reliable source confirmed. But here we are 12 days later, and she's contradicting her reliable source altogether just to change the narrative.
Now, look, I'll be honest. I've said that one could argue that Candace was so jealous, she realized she was never going to get with him, so she hired Tyler Robinson to do it. That obviously is more of a conspiracy theory, but I definitely think it's 1000% in the realm that she loved him, she hated Erica, and now she's doing whatever she can to hurt Erica, like a crazy woman would. I mean, if my husband passed away, best believe baby mama would be saying whatever she could. So, and yet they were divorced, I think, 10 years before I met them, or before I met him. It's not like she really has a leg to stand on. It's not like she's really seen her kid in 5 years. But anyways.
So they released the photo, and then we are told, as my source initially told me, that it was the mother who recognized Tyler. Remember, the media presented this amazing
I swear,
story.
her source has to be like a herpy on someone's ass. Oh, yeah, and this is a good one. Remember how I told you that she's claiming a French Foreign Legions after her?
French government. There's a lots of things about that don't make sense that I'll get into in a minute, but let's jump forward a little bit here.
I got even more specific. 2 assassins were hired, one Israeli, one French Canadian woman, okay, a man and a woman. And I also said,
is it just me or she had a nose job? I don't know. She looks like she's had a nose job.
That the money ran through the elite gentleman club descente. Again, I was very specific. And I asserted that the French Foreign Legion, which was a legion and a group that I had never heard about.
I just realized if she got a nose job from a Jewish doctor, that could explain why she hates Jews. She very much dislikes Israel and the Jewish people. Candace Owens does. So it does make me wonder. Maybe it was a bad nose job. Oh, sorry. I joke.
Prior to this notification, were involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination. Okay, I don't follow military stuff. So me even mentioning specific gendarmerie, you have to assume that I got this information from somebody.
Look, I have no doubt that she's getting this information from somewhere. When you have a platform as big as Candace Owens, and you're clearly willing to put out information with so little evidence other than a source says, or even said source tries to provide some sort of bona fides of who they are, which is very easy to do, you become a prime target for disinformation agents of all types, from foreign adversaries, from political adversaries. I don't doubt that there's somebody that has convinced her that they are close to high in the French government and have provided, I don't know, whatever proof that she...
Oh my God. I could literally see Adonis Paul faking a French accent and calling her and pretending that there was like something going on. I could see that happening. Oh, that'd be funny.
she required to provide. You know, that could be somebody in the French government, that could be somebody in another government, could be somebody in, you know, their parents' basement in Baltimore.
Oh my God, yeah, by the way, that is so true. My husband actually used to do prank calls a long time ago. And yeah, these people can not only spoof a number, but they can spoof numbers that aren't even on like a registry. I knew someone who spoofed like Alec Baldwin's number and then used that to call someone else. Oh yeah, like they would do stupid stuff. So when he's saying it could be someone in their basement, yeah, you can spoof a number real easy. And especially with a soundboard, I mean, at the time it was, oh, I forgot what we used. It was before you did Zoom. But they actually just got rid of it. They just got rid of the calling service thing that they used, but you would use like a dialing service and all that, yeah. And like change your number. The stuff that I saw people do was insane. And they could even run it through a system where it would like call someone 200 times in an hour. I actually know someone who got in trouble with the cops because he did that to his ex-girlfriend. And if you're ever on Twitter, he goes by Cheech. And he has no problem with me saying that. He tells everyone.
Look, I don't think it's that hard to convince Candace that you are a legitimate source. And I don't think she would require a lot. I think she's naive. I mean, just like she said, she's ignorant of the military and how things work with that. We're going to talk more about the French Foreign Legion, National Guard, and some of the other things that she is alleging that just
she's
defy common
obviously
sense.
ignorant of the military and stuff. I mean, when Iran got hit, she was telling military soldiers to go ahead and be discharged dishonorably. It's like, I don't think you understand what you're telling people what to do. Like, that's as bad as a violent felony on your record. You ain't gonna get hired. Like, you're not gonna get a job. You're not gonna get a house. You're not gonna get an apartment. You're not gonna get a car. No one's gonna want you. That's what's gonna happen. So definitely naive, if not stupid. I mean, you can be well read and still lack common sense. Like that's. I mean, Charlie Kirk even said, "Don't conflate credentials with intelligence." Just because she reads a lot of books and might have some credentials doesn't mean she's intelligent.
Altogether. So again, I don't doubt that she's being fed this information. I just think that she is easily tricked and is too eager to put out this type of stuff. And I think people are taking advantage of that fact.
Dude, legit, if someone is in their basement for 3 months messing with Candace Owens, that would be the funniest damn thing in the world. I mean, seriously, that would be hilarious to me. I mean, I don't like the fact that she's been literally torturing a grieving widow, but it is still damn funny that if someone was messing with her.
Did I report it to the White House? Of course I reported it to the White House. Did I report it to the FBI? Of course I reported it to the FBI. Did I report it to our counterterrorism unit? Of course I reported it, because I'm telling you there's a paper trail. Common sense. You think I'm just doing that because I'm assuming you could get...
Okay, well, when you report stuff like that, normally you do have a paper trail. Even if you call them, they usually write stuff down and I think send you a something in an email or even a letter, whatnot. But I don't think you can really call anymore. I think you have to submit everything via email. So there'd be a paper trail. Where's the paper trail?
Get a felony for making something up out of thin air like that. You can't just use United States resources to go after somebody in a plot that...
It's only a felony if you report a false incident. So if you falsify a report, it's a felony. Now, if you go on X and tell people that there's a plot against your life, that's just you being crazy. That's not really a felony. Unless the FBI starts looking into it and using resources, then you might have to split some hairs there. But we're being pedantic.
Never existed that you did for clicks on YouTube.
Look, I'll be honest with you. I'm not convinced that she believes that this threat is real. And there's good evidence of that I'm going to share with you in just a moment. Because basically what she can do is she may be getting this source that she probably doesn't believe to begin with. And she can take that information that she's gotten and give it to the White House, give it to the FBI or whatever else. And it gives her plausible deniability in all of this. So that's what I think. But
Dude, I want to know what this is behind him. Like, what is that? I mean, it looks like a rifle, but this looks cool. Just saying. Anyways.
Things get even weirder here in just a second when it comes to her reporting of this information.
The idea that it was a multinationally planned event. And by the way, is that on its face even plausible? Multiple agencies and multiple countries involved, from Egypt to Israel. People are saying that's totally crazy.
It is totally crazy.
Yeah.
Because we have a couple of issues with that. If we have this multinational conspiracy to kill Charlie Kirk, which is what she's referencing right now, what I want to know from Candace is the how. All right, you can throw all these allegations out, but not once has she shown the mechanism for which they made it work. So we have the French Foreign Legion, we have Israelis. Who actually took the shot? Where were they? Who was on the roof? Was that, like, I don't even know. Like, give us some details here. Like, you can't just move on without telling us how it took place. And she doesn't even believe that Tyler Robinson was on campus, even though both of his parents confirmed and identified him as the suspected shooter from surveillance footage on campus. Let's listen to this next part, because this is where some of the things that she constantly does as far as deception goes.
Oh yeah, and speaking of that, she apparently doesn't believe he was on campus. A big reason why that is because there was video of him dropping down from the roof at 12:34 p.m. And then there was video at 6:45 or something like that of him at a Dairy Queen about 7 miles away in different clothes. Now, I don't know about you, but between 12:34 and 6:45, that's a little over 6 hours. Apparently, Candace failed math because she claimed that was 15 freaking minutes. I mean, I understand that math nowadays is racist, but Jesus, come on. You can't claim to be an intelligent person and not be able to do basic math. Oh, I shut my camera off so you could see the screen better. Not to mention, I'm just staring at a dude, like someone wants to see me staring at a dude. It's just weird.
Continues to play out.
No, it's the lone shooter who had never been on campus, who climbed the roofs like Spider-Man.
This is something that she said in multiple episodes. Yeah, you know, Tyler Robinson climbed the roofs like Spider-Man. Oh, it's so crazy. She uses such gross exaggeration to make a point and to make you, the listener, believe that the idea that Tyler Robinson was on the roof is nuts. Well, here's footage from when I went to UVU. Let me show you exactly how much of a Spider-Man you have to be. That is clearly intentionally deceptive and outright dishonest and propaganda to push a narrative.
Mm-hmm.
By definition, it is propaganda. All right, so now she talks about her replies that she got from letting different government agencies know that she has had a threat to her life. Let's hear what she has to say.
Now, in terms of formal replies that we received from government structures, the only department that we did hear back, well, first let me say, I did not at all hear back from the FBI on the American side. I did hear back from the counterterrorism unit. I did hear back from the White House confirming that that message had been delivered on Trump's desk, me saying that I had the information.
Yeah, that message was delivered on Trump's desk, and then when a reporter asked him about this, he laughed and said, "What are you, stupid?" Just, yeah. Trump thinks it's stupid too.
I guess he didn't want to inquire further, which is interesting. But the FBI left me on red. And I will say I didn't go through an official channel and send an email, and I should do that. But I did send a text message to somebody very high up who received the text message. No.
And you would have a paper trail then. Like, you sent a text message, it's in writing, you would have a paper trail.
Response.
Wait, what? You believe that there is a multinational, state-sponsored assassination team coming to kill you and your family, your husband, you, and you sent a text message and didn't send a formal email to the FBI? That's what you're trying to tell me right now? I don't believe that. I don't believe that you believe that this threat is real. I'll just say that. That's like that. If my family was in danger and I thought a state-sponsored assassination team was coming to kill me and my family, I would be sending that everywhere. And I would make sure that and by the way, when I got a response, if I have a platform like this, I'm going to show you that response. Why is it she's showing us the confirmation of her emails? She demands evidence from everybody, from the FBI, from TPUSA, from Utah. And she never gives the simplest of evidence to us to confirm anything that she says.
Yep.
Let's play it and hear her out.
The UVU students who attended said that they felt like they didn't recognize anybody that was there. It was weird.
Forget about.
Yeah, because it was a publicized event and people showed up who didn't go to the the college. I mean, Conservative Vibes on YouTube. He was there. He's not a college student. He's in his 30s like me. And he was still there. So, and he was there with his wife. And witnessed the entire thing. So of course, you don't recognize a lot of the people. It was a publicized event. You had people show up from other colleges. I mean, Tyler Robinson drove 3 hours. It wasn't a closed campus event. Jesus. I mean, it's not a prom.
How illogical that is. But let's talk about what she's getting ready to say, because she has said this time and time and time again.
It was very strange that they advertised for this event really late in the day.
All right, so this is a narrative
No, I didn't.
that Candace has continued to push.
I didn't. How is that possible when Conservative Vibes was saying a week beforehand that he was going to the Charlie Kirk debate at UVU? Like a week before him. So it wasn't publicized late in the day. It wasn't even publicized late, and people outside the college knew. Bullshit.
Multiple times. I've seen it on X. I'm sure she's talked about it in her episode somewhere. But basically what she's saying is that, hey, you know what? This event wasn't even advertised till late in the day. Now, that in and of itself is at least an exaggeration of things that I've known her to say on X. Originally, what she was saying is that this event was only advertised 2 days prior. So essentially, there was no time for Tyler Robinson or anybody else to plan for this, to plan this attack, because there was only 2 days prior. So it had to come from information from the inside. This is a lie. It is completely incorrect. And here's a tweet that I shared it was November 4th. So I retweeted, Jane Doe, you know, we knew that this event was indeed advertised many, many days prior to, it was more than 2 days we knew for a fact.
Yeah,
But then we found the original
that's like 2
listing on
weeks
TP
beforehand.
USA website. It was actually sent out August 28th. But you can see on this flyer that was on the TPUSA website, August 28th, that not only did we know exactly when it was going to be, September 10th, 2025, but it was going to be in the UVU courtyard. So the idea that there was only a couple days prior or required insider information to plan this is total nonsense. And I know Candace knew about this. And how do I know that Candace knew about this? Because she responded to my tweet. So here she is right here. Sorry, I'm not tracking and wanted to add this to my timeline. What website are you using that shows that this venue went live on August 27th? Everything I'm looking at shows the websites weren't crawled until September 7th. Maybe you're using a different site. We provided her the information. It indeed was live and people knew about it August 27th.
It was very strange that they advertised for this event really late in the day.
So she has known that this event was publicly advertised and marketed since August 27th. But here we are, December 1st, still pushing the same nonsense that it was only advertised late in the day and it was crazy that people even showed up at all. This is pure intentional deception.
Mm-hmm.
And because she cares more about the narrative that she's trying to push and
a bunch of adults and people that they don't recognize at this event. And then afterwards, the national media moves to, it looks like they're almost trying not to interview any UVU students, right? They're interviewing everybody around. You got all these adults who were there, but mysteriously, the UVU students who had some interesting tidbits about what was weird that day just don't flood into the mainstream like we expected them to.
Why hasn't she interviewed any eyewitnesses? Why hasn't she personally gone to UVU to investigate what happened? Because I'm telling you, you have to go there. I did. I went there, and I'm telling you, it opened your eyes to the reality of what's going on. And by the way, I did talk to 5 different eyewitnesses while I was there at UVU. 4 of them did not want to go on the record. I did talk to one that went on the record. I interviewed him. You can go check out that video right there. But all 5 of those people told me the exact same story. It was very consistent with what we know, and quite frankly, it lined up with what is outlined in the charging documents, whether you like that or not. But the question remains.
Kind of interesting is that they basically gutted and replaced about half of their leadership in mid-August. Check out this article published on August 20th. In 2025, a change of command took place across 6 regiments. Now, we researched, and look, I'm not a military buff, but we found that they have 12 regiments that are known of, and you're telling me that they gutted leadership.
Hold on a second.
Legion, it gets interesting.
Now, as it
gone there, why hasn't she interviewed people personally? Why hasn't she had people on her show?
Because she said French Foreign Legion. When they showed the top of that, I saw green, white, and red.
Now, as it pertains to the French Legion, something else that's kind of interesting is that they basically
French
gutted
Legion.
and replaced.
France is blue, white, and red. They don't have green. And what she showed looked like Mexico or like Italy or some crap. Actually, looked more Italian. A little white, but what's she talking about?
About half of their leadership in mid-August. Check out this article
Look.
on August 20th.
Foreign Legion, green, white, red. Someone explain to me what Foreign Legion is green, white, and red. I don't know. Maybe the Italians. Maybe Mexico. Sure as hell ain't France. This would be blue. Like sacre bleu.
In 2025, a change of command took place across 6 regiments. Now, we researched, and look, I'm not a military buff, but we found that they have 12 regiments that are known of.
That could
and
be
you're
Italians.
telling me that they gutted leadership of
Wait,
6.
I want to see. They scrolled down and then cut it. I want to see
Gutted
this.
leadership of 6. They put in 6 new commanders.
Again.
We found that they have 12.
Let me see. What? Is that a... That's not a flag, but that is like a... It might be a flag. That is not French Foreign Legion. I mean, could that be like Morocco? Or, not Lebanon. Would it be Lebanon? I'm just saying, I mean, they speak French. Legion on... It says FFL Info Archive, but that is not French colors when you got to the top of that. I don't... French is not green, white, and red.
Regiments that are known of, and you're telling me that they gutted leadership of 6. They put in 6 new commanders.
Again, more hyperbolic, exaggerated, straw man speech to try to convince you something's weird here. Every military unit out there goes through change of command. That's not gutting your leadership. It's normal to have like a bunch at the same time because you have people that are getting promoted and so they go up to the next command level that they're going to, and then those other people that they go to the next command level. It's a change of command. She's constantly taking these innocuous...
I mean, I don't know about the Foreign Legion thing, but I just don't think that's French Foreign Legion considering the flag doesn't match up.
Weird, suspicious...
This week, I think there were some National Guard,
and yeah, she does look like
National Guard regiments that were there, some French Foreign Legionnaires that were there.
All right. So now we're saying that the U.S. again.
I love his face. He looks like he's trying to explain to a child why they're wrong. It's like the sky is purple. It's like, oh my god, okay. So for the 4th time, it's blue. Like, oh Jesus! I love how annoyed he looks.
She knows nothing about the military. okay, when you're talking about these things, you don't know about them. That's a real problem, right? So I guess these assassins, I guess they're assassins 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Like the idea that the National Guard is going to be tasked with this international assassination plot of Charlie Kirk is just asinine. It is like kindergarten level speculation and imagination run amok. That's what it is. And not only that, the other problem I have with it, not only does it not make sense, but on top of that, you're basically telling our men and women in uniform they're guilty of murder too. And they're guilty of, like, let me tell you something. I came from special operations. Forget about the National Guard. I don't know of anyone in a tier 1 unit that said, if someone came to us and said, hey, look, you know what? We got a top secret mission for you. You have to kill Charlie Kirk or some other American citizen. I don't think that you'd ever find anybody that would be willing to do that. I really don't. And you definitely wouldn't be able to find a whole team of whatever she's kind of, like, I don't think you'd be able to find that. The people in the military love this country, love the Constitution. They're as patriotic as they get. And for her to cast aspersions over these people with zero evidence whatsoever, it's just adding to the list of things that I find.
All right, I get it.
By foreign governments, including the Macrons, the French government, and one Israeli, apparently.
Why does every chick who listens to her have wide freaking eyes? It's the same as her. They're all lizard people. Aye.
That planned to assassinate her. Very, very drastic claim. I mean, this is serious. So House and Habit posted this earlier today, that apparently Candace Owens, on this break where she went off air dramatically, apparently, allegedly, she went on vacation to Dollywood, which, by the way, is completely fine.
She was so concerned about the state-sponsored, well-funded, highly trained, highly skilled professional assassination team attempting to murder her, she went to Dollywood. Is that what you would do? Because most people tend to, like, hide. But yeah, she made this huge declaration that there was, like, a threat against her life, and then she kind of hinted that the show was going to go dark for a week, but it was going dark because of Thanksgiving, and then she went to Dollywood. If someone was threatening my life, I don't think I'd really be leaving the house, and I'd be strapped, and you probably wouldn't have her being able to be strapped at Dollywood. So I'm just saying.
I'm not coming at you for that. Enjoy yourself, girl. But you just claimed that an entire foreign government is trying to assassinate you, along with one Israeli, apparently, and you're at Dollywood? This is the text message that is attached to that photo, and it reads, my daughter's best friend went to Tennessee for Thanksgiving. They spent yesterday at Dollywood. Guess who she ran into? Yep, Candace Owens, out in the open in a public place amongst claimed assassination attempts. Make it make sense. And yes, this photo is from yesterday. Oh my gosh. And if this is true, that her daughter's best friend just ran up to Candace Owens, that means that Candace Owens didn't have her security on her or something. You know what I mean? She wasn't high security, right? Is that what that means?
You shouldn't be able just to run up to someone. They have
help me
security
make this make
team.
sense. There's a foreign operation plotting her assassination, so much so that she ran to the White House, all the stuff. But she allowed some rando stranger run up to her. You know what I mean? Dollywood does not look low-key whatsoever. It looks like it has a lot of foot traffic, a lot of people, high population, hosting nearly 3 million guests in a typical season.
If I believed there was a state-sponsored assassination team coming after me, I would not be going to Dollywood. I would not be risking myself or my family. Doesn't make sense. But finally, let's talk about Candace's potential motives. Contempt for TPUSA. She clearly doesn't like the people behind Charlie Kirk. I think that was well known before Charlie's death, and it's even more clear now.
Well, and I'm gonna actually kind of touch base on that one. Because, yeah, she didn't like Turning Point. 19... Is it this one? Okay, yeah. So here. In May of 2019, communications director Candace Owens resigned after controversial remarks she made in December of 2018 were politicized, and some TPUSA campus chapters called for her resignation. Now, what's humorous about that is December of 2018 was the same month she not only met her husband, but got engaged to him. So, kind of wondering if these controversial remarks she made came from the husband, who has Qatar citizenship, and I know that the controversial remarks happen to do with disliking Israel. So I'm pretty sure the correlation between all that. But yeah, I mean, so, and the thing is, he worked actually for TP UK, and he had only been there for 6 months and stepped down 1 month after. And it's ironic that he stepped down 1 month after, because he'd only been there, like I said, 6 months. Why would you become CEO of something and then step down 6 months after, unless the nagging wife behind you wouldn't shut up? It's more than likely what happened. But yeah, I mean, sorry, I had saved a couple screenshots of some things. Yeah, look. Candace Owens met her husband December 11th, 2018. December 29th, 2018, they got engaged. And in December of 2018 is when she made controversial statements. So, something having to do with this. Guaranteed. Because ironically, she never really had any problems with Israel till she started dating that dude, and then it became more exacerbated after she went and worked for Ben Shapiro, who's an Israeli, and then got fired. So she seems to have issues with rejection. Pretty sure. A lot of women do.
Her other motives are views, clicks, likes, and of course money. She's made millions of dollars off the fantasy adventure she's created on top of the grave of Charlie Kirk, while destroying his legacy and his life's work. That's a fact. She has stated multiple times she's a Mason of TPUSA, i.e. a founder of TPUSA, and helped build TPUSA. TPUSA was founded by Charlie Kirk in 2012. She worked for TPUSA for less than 19 months before being forced to resign.
Yeah.
So she did not help build TPUSA. She was an employee at TPUSA for 19 months.
So Charlie Kirk was like the people who came over on the Mayflower and went and built the cities, and then she's the immigrant who came over and was part of it for like a year and a half, and then turns around and goes, "Oh, but we built it." Didn't.
Very small amount of time compared to how long it's been around. I don't even know if you'd call this a motive, but I do believe that she's being manipulated by both adversarial political forces and foreign adversaries. Just like I said earlier,
yeah,
when you have someone
I think
that has
she's
a
actually a
like
shill for
does,
Qatar.
reaching millions of people, that is willing to use unverified sources and distribute disinformation. She's a prime target for both. She definitely has an anti-Israel motive. And I want you to notice that I didn't say anti-Semitic. When it comes to Israel, I also think there is a lot to criticize, and I think we should have a discussion of where money goes and the role foreign governments play in our domestic and international politics.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Every country has the right to defend themselves. We don't need to pay for it. Bottom line, we just need to pay for ourselves. That's it. Aside from that, they have every right to defend themselves. And Palestine can screw off.
You know, there is a demographic out there, and I think a lot of them are followers of Candace, or at least aligned with Candace temporarily. And I think it falls under the philosophy, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, you know, that sees Israel behind everything. Anything that has ever happened, Israel's involved in. They control the United States. Personally, I think that is demonstrably absurd. And unfortunately, I think Candace has fallen victim to, you know, that that idea that, you know, Israel's just behind everything, and she can't see a problem without seeing Israel. And finally, this is my own personal opinion. I think there's a good chance that Candace is genuinely delusional and believes many of the things that she says. She's tying all of these non-related issues together in her mind, and she thinks these delusions are real. So I think there's some truth to that. I think at least some of these things that, again, there's no relation. It's just this big incoherent mess that she's just kind of pulling in and tying it to this narrative, and it doesn't make sense. Now let's talk about one of the main reasons that I'm creating this video, and that is the damage that she has done and why we have to put an end to it.
Yeah.
Candace's allegations have destroyed lives and
Yeah.
resulted in constant death threats and targeting of people, all with zero evidence. These people are innocent. Not innocent until proven. Like, there's no chance that some of these people that she claims are guilty of anything. They are victims of this too.
I mean, she's literally saying this stuff, and people at TPUSA are getting death threats from her followers. Erica is too. So she not only has to sit there and grieve and get over it and become a CEO and run things now, but dodge death threats from someone who claimed to be her husband's best friend. That's pretty messed up. That's extremely messed up. I wouldn't want anyone to have to deal with that, like, ever. But yeah, no, the damage is insane. I don't understand how anyone could do that. Like, why don't you take a step back, put yourself in Erica's shoes, and see how she feels? With what happened with my parents, I'll tell you right now, the first 2 to 3 weeks, you're just trying to focus on catching your breath, to breathe. After that, for the next 2 months, you basically just put your head down, you don't look up, and you try and pretend like it didn't happen so your mind can cope with the trauma. It's never going to get easier for her, ever. It's never, and that's what's horrible. And I can tell you that because it's been 9 years for me. But, yeah, it sucks. So she has to deal with all that on top of some crazy 304 who wants to sit there and cause so much drama. It's not even funny. Yeah. I think if Erica were to have ever described hell before this happened, I think she's living it right now. Because if someone could really make it worse, Candace decided to pour salt in the wound.
And she has contributed to absolutely destroying their lives, their reputations. She has caused them to become targeted by insane people. There are crazy people out there that they have the will.
Oh, and speaking of targeted, so that's where Tim Pool, a couple days ago, had said that it was obvious Candace was in love with him. She would flirt with him, talk with him romantically, and it was just blatantly obvious, especially with all the stuff she kept showing. And he even kind of said, you know, you could argue that she had motive to basically hurt him. And I just find it interesting that less than 24 hours after that, someone drives by his house and tries to shoot up his property. So this is literally how crazy these people are. And it's funny because a lot of people are like, oh, the Democrats are crazy, and this is the one time where the Republicans are like, no, this one I'm pretty sure was not a Democrat. It's like the one time that we'll say it isn't a Democrat.
The capabilities of doing all they need is a target. And she has put targets on a lot of innocent people. And that should not be acceptable in this country. Look, I believe in freedom of speech, but we should also be a self-regulating society. You know, we used to not entertain serious accusations without proof. Matter of fact, we would tell people, look, don't accuse people without evidence.
And normally I agree with that, but the problem is there's such a lack of evidence, and the reason why there's an open case, there's a trial, they can't release evidence because it can actually taint the trial, it can taint the jury pool, it can cause a lot of issues. When the trial is over, we'll know more, and more than likely TPUSA is going to sit there and release stuff. But when it comes down to it, they're not going to release stuff until afterwards because it will taint a jury pool. And this was such a publicized event. You can't release minute details because, again, it'll taint the jury pool. So that's, I mean, she's playing off that. They're literally following it to the T, to the letter, and she's playing off that. And she knows it too. But hey, I could also argue that Candace is a Fed because apparently her lawyers work in the same building as the Feds.
That's crazy. Just stop. Now it's completely encouraged and just has become normal and clickbait, and we've accepted it in society. It's not healthy and it's not good, and it should be condemned. One of the most damaging things that Candace has done is she has fractured the Conservative Party in ways I'm not sure we can recover. You can say whatever you want about the Trump administration, but a Joe Biden 2.0 in 2028, it's not a better option. Not a better option at all. Lastly, most tragically, she's tarnished Charlie's legacy and TPUSA, which is Charlie's legacy. She's declared war and trying to destroy TPUSA, going as far as telling, donors not to donate to them, and that, it's a...
Yeah, she's screwed for that one because she put it in writing, and the problem with that is the TPUSA doesn't have to open up their books whatsoever in order to prove that she made a statement in writing telling people to request refunds. All they have to do is pull up their email chain showing, hey, look, we have a bunch of requests for refunds within 24 hours of her making that post. And if there's a significant uptick, and I mean 200-300% in requests for refunds, if not more, then they definitely have liability for, I think it's, slander, I think is written. Well, let me look it up. I don't... I'm one of those people who likes to not be misinformed. People just want to be like, oh, you always want to be right. No, I just don't want to sit there and make things up and be stupid. Slander versus defamation. Okay, so they're both the same, but slander's a specific type of defamation. That's spoken statements. So what's written defamation? Libel. So they have a libel suit. Because she put it in writing. And if TPUSA can prove that she caused irreparable damage, i.e. people asking for refunds, then they have a libel lawsuit. And what sucks is the only thing they could really do is go after her LLC. She's probably moved all the information, all of her money into her husband's name and all that crap. So it's like, great, you can sue her for like $50. What a bitch.
An entirely corrupt organization that is responsible for Charlie Kirk's death, all of which is just untrue. TPUSA was the most powerful political force in the U.S. And not only were they responsible for beating Kamala Harris, but they were also the key player pushing back against trans ideology and putting a stop to leftist, socialist, and communist agendas here in the United States. Now, all of those evils have joined forces to destroy TPUSA, and they are definitely part of the driving force behind the Candace Owens cult.
And see, that's actually a good place to pause it. But a lot of people don't know that Candace Owens actually ran a doxing website, like a website to actually dox conservatives. Or she actually had a like a GoFundMe for it and or a Kickstarter, and had put it together, but I guess sold it before it went live. But yeah, so she was very much a libtard at one point.
Charlie and TPUSA created a revival.
Stop. So he said the Candace cult, right? So
in the audience, what is a cult?
Of course. Okay. Do you know any characteristics of a cult?
What is a cult?
Sure. I mean, you could take the Jonestown death cult, of which there was a I don't know, a charismatic leader that constantly lied people, and they took him out of everyday normal life and leads them towards ostracization and cutting off of family ties.
Oh, what does that sound like? An overly charismatic leader who constantly lies to people and pulls them out of normality and has them ostracize family because family doesn't believe the other bullshit. Candace is a cult. It's the cult of Candace. Not the cult of personality.
Am I getting closer to
I mean,
describing
I will
the
read
Democrat
you,
Party?
According to the
Democrat.
No. What I'm talking about is MAGA. According to the Bethune Cook University website, characteristics of a cult include isolating members and criticizing them for leaving. Would you say that
So that's what Candace does.
members of the MAGA movement will criticize others for leaving?
Democrats do it too.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you guys criticize players that transfer out of the University of Tennessee football team. That's not a cult.
True. You don't mess with Southern football.
Okay, what about the absolute authoritarianism without meaningful accountability?
Oh, another one of Candace. Like, I'm correct. I have a feeling. I have receipts. No receipts. No accountability.
Okay, so what you're trying to say is that, like, what the leader says, the leader gets, basically?
Yes, Trump.
We have lots of
No,
disagreements
Candace.
in the MAGA movement. In fact, I'm more pro-life than the president is. In fact, a lot of people in this audience would have differing views maybe on where the president is at on Israel or Gaza or Ukraine or Russia. In fact, some people in this audience might say the president is not as pro-Second Amendment as they would like. I would argue that we actually have far more intellectual diversity in the MAGA movement than your traditional Democrat Party.
I see where you're going with this and stating that not every person who, I guess, supports Trump is fully supportive of him, but I'm saying the MAGA movement who will...
But yet every person who supports Candace is fully supportive of her.
agree with him no matter what.
Well, I actually think that there's more depth and complexity to the MAGA movement than you would imagine. A lot of people here who would consider themselves to be part of the MAGA movement, they won't blindly sign on to everything that Trump does. However, they will say that they agree with him 8 out of 10 times or 9 out of 10 times. And so I would say, though, you know what was a cult? What was a cult is what we lived during COVID. During COVID, and allow me to build out the argument that no matter what the CDC or Anthony Fauci would say, you would have the little talking heads on television parrot it back, no matter how insane it was. We must close the schools, 6 feet to slow the spread, wear a mask while showering. Okay, I made that one up. But
so anything that Candace says, if you notice, all her followers parrot it back on X.
I mean, the point being is that that far more had characterizations of what a cult would be than the traditional Make America Great Again movement.
Okay, but you could also argue the side that Fox News does the exact same thing, where they just regurgitate everything that
Bitch, no one watches
the
Fox
right
News.
media is saying, and people on the right will believe anything Fox News says. And I'm not
Watch
defending
Fox News
CNN.
since
I'm not saying the
2020.
Democratic Party is perfect. I'm just saying that there is a movement of conservative people who support Trump who will do it no matter what.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get to where you have come to this opinion. I'm trying to understand it because I see something.
And let me point out, there's a big faction of people who will follow Candace no matter what. That's scary. Like I said, there's people getting threats because of this shit now. And it's, yeah. That's scary, man.
Completely different.
I do not use CNN as my news source, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah,
Good
it's
for you.
Associated Press and MSNBC.
Apparently you haven't been in an airport recently because the only people that watch CNN is if you're walking through an airport.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to understand where you're coming from, and by your own definition of a cult.
It's not my own. It's a legitimate
fine. So let me ask you a question. A cult would probably convince people to do something that would be against their humanity. Would you agree?
Yes.
A cult would probably get people to do something that they know is wrong, even though they think they should do something as right.
Maybe, because
Okay.
some of these people are brainwashed into believing certain things that
For
they
sure.
don't actually agree
No,
with
no,
because
okay.
they don't have the proper information
Got
on
it.
it.
So, for example, would you agree that when the Democrats sat during the State of the Union address to not applaud a kid with brain cancer, that is cult-like behavior?
So when TPUSA calls out Candace, says they want to address everything and have a conversation, and she's the one who backs down, they say it's all TPUSA. That sounds like cult-like behavior. But yeah.
Because their leader told
Right.
them not to do it. I mean,
well, who told them not to?
exactly. I mean, their leadership told
So
them.
who's their leader? If they're
Well,
a cult,
Chuck
then who's their
Schumer
leader?
or Hakeem Jeffries, they had strict orders: do not stand and applaud for anything Trump does. They told us this.
Yes.
And so then Trump says, hey, can we just have a moment of non-political? Here's DJ Daniel. He's dying of brain cancer. He's now a ceremonial
was the
member of the
sweetest
Secret
thing when he
Service.
hugged the,
And every Democrat sat with their arms crossed,
Secret Service
not even
agent,
being
I was
able
just
to
like,
show the
"Aw."
humanity. I mean, that's a cult.
Okay.
Oh my God, by the way, I don't know if anyone saw, but later on they saw DJ Daniels outside the White House, like a week later, I think. And he was so adorable. He was like, any Democrat who wants to criticize Trump, I'm on your bumper. It's the cutest damn thing. Like, oh my gosh, I really want this kid to like actually get into the academy. Like, I hope. It'd be awesome. Watch, he'll turn into a George Floyd. Kidding.
To respond to that, that is simply one example, and I'm sure you can pull a bunch other out. But, and I'm not saying that what the Democratic Party did that night was correct. I believe that what they were doing was standing against Trump's hypocrisy and his narcissism and his way of like making himself look good by like using other people who are marginalized to make himself look good.
So here's my suggestion, and take it for whatever it's worth. Calling the opposition political movement a cult when the other one that you happen to be more allied with is obviously much more of a cult is not helpful.
Okay, then tell me how it's a cult. Tell me how the Democratic Party
how
is a
about
cult
this?
compared to MAGA.
I'll give you another I mean, you asked me for more examples.
Yes.
The day of the State of the Union address, all 22 Democrat senators repeated the very same video on social media, mindlessly like robots.
What video?
The video where they said, something is effing out of control and this is not right. You guys all saw that video. Repeating the same incantation with not even like an iota of creativity or ingenuity, like just repeating it like as if they've been hypnotized into a... Got it.
I have not seen that video.
Well, you should. But again, I'm not even the one that is up here throwing around the cult word torture.
I've seen that video. Some genius put all 9 of those videos together and synced them up. It was creepy. Like they were on point with every word, like robots.
Towards the Democrat Party. I just think it's a supremely rich accusation to say the MAGA movement is part of a cult, when evidently, based on the own standard that you put forward, the Democrat Party embodies those characteristics far more than Republicans or conservatives ever have or ever will.
So one of the main aspects of a cult is a leader, a charismatic leader that people will follow blindly no matter what.
A charismatic leader that people will follow blindly no matter what. Candace Owens.
The leader of the MAGA movement is Trump. Who are you stating the leader of the Democratic Party is that people will follow blindly without questioning no matter what?
Oh, people question Trump.
Well,
they don't question Candace, apparently.
And I'm hearing tons of different examples, so that can just tell you there's not one.
Okay, again, so it could be Obama, it could be Rachel Maddow. I mean, the point being is that I don't even think it's the strongest argument to call either party a cult. That's not why I'm up here. I'm simply just playing the same frequency that you're coming at, that based on the definition, the Democrat Party is far more mindless and far more of a Borg, to use a Star Trek analogy, than the Republican Party or the conservative movement. And
Yeah, I love that he uses the Star Trek analogy. What a nerd. Anyways, sorry, we're not going to watch this entire thing. I just wanted to go over what a cult was. I was going to save this for if I had to go to the bathroom, but I think I'll just use it for the closeout. Just an FYI, this is a AI video I made, and then I put together music and stuff like that. And ironically, I had put Candace Owens in it before she turned around and flat out just blamed them. So it fits a lot better, surprisingly. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play this, and this will be my on the way out.
It's a train wreck on the nightly screen. Lies dressed up in a suit and clean. Chasing shadows they can't defend. Where does the truth begin or end? I hear the whispers through the static hum. The louder they shout, the more I go numb. Reality check, yeah, it's coming fast. Truth's the only thing that'll ever last. You can spin it up, you can twist the facts, but the train wreck's here and it's on your tracks. And it's on your tracks. Talking heads with a smirk so wide, preaching fear while they run and hide. A circus act with a heavy price, a house of mirrors and loaded dice. Don't need your head